In this video, I'm going to be discussing how to instill a very basic language system with your dog. What we are going to be discussing is how to communicate to your dog when they are doing the correct thing that you want them to do versus when they are making a mistake. I'm going to be working with this dog, Indy here. This is a German Shepherd, obviously. He's about 6 months old and we are ready to get started. One of the first things that you will need is something that your dog really wants. So I recommend getting some type of food reward that your dog really enjoys, and that's how we're going to start this process. So let's get started. Okay, so I have some food here that Indy is obviously excited about getting. Okay, I'm going to be feeding here. Now, we're going to start off with something very simple. I'm hoping that your dog knows how to sit. That's what we're going to be using for this process. I want you to pick a word or phrase that you want to use to let them know that they are doing what you ask them to do. So for instance, if you ask your dog to sit and they do it, you want to say something like good, or good boy, or yes, or a click from a clicker, okay? Whatever it may be, but I want you to be consistent, and if you're using your voice, I want you to pay attention to your tone. So if I ask Indy to sit, good. Okay, I want to keep that consistent, and notice how my voice should sound pleasant, and it should be consistent each time, or as consistent as I can possibly make it. So let's see that again. Here, bud. Sit, good. Right? I want him to understand that when I ask him to sit, if he does so, he's going to hear that word, good, and he's going to receive something for it. Okay, so that's one aspect that we really want our dogs to learn when they are in the early training phases, that if they do what we ask, they hear that, what a lot of trainers will call a marker, all right, that we're saying that marks the behavior that we're looking for. So if I go good, I want the dog to understand that it's exactly what I wanted him to do. So again, sit, good, and then we are going to follow that with a food reward, okay, each and every time. Now on the other side of that, we want to be able to let our dogs know when they are making a mistake, all right? So you may have any type of phrase that you want to pick. I typically use something like or nope, and it has a little bit of a different tone to it. So you can hear good, I kind of picture it going up in pitch, and then nope, or kind of stays level or goes down, okay? And so your voice intonation is really important because dogs really are able to pick that up very well. Okay, so to give you an example of this, I'm going to just use, we'll say, let's start off with him in a sit position, and I'm going to be working on my stay, and I'll show you how this works. So, come here, bud. Sit. Good, that's what I wanted. Let's say I want him to remain in that sit position. Now watch, I'm going to bring this food down slowly. If he moves, I'm going to use my We could call that a lot of different things. Some trainers may call that a no reward marker, meaning that the dog should start to understand that if they do the behavior as far as getting up out of the sit, that's not what we want. So let's look at that. So I'm going to put the food down, and I pull it away. Good, because now he's remaining seating. I'm going to say good and feed. So let's see that again. I'm trying to break this down to make it really simple for you guys. Sit, stay, Okay, now he's going to his down because I've worked on down, so he's trying something else. I could reward that because he's not going for the food, but I'm going to see if he'll remain in that sitting position. Good. Okay, do you see how he learned by not going for that food? When he remained in that sitting position, that's when I marked it with good and I fed him. Okay, so let's see it again. Come on. Sit. Good. Now you see how we do that? So we're starting to communicate to the dog that if they do certain things, that's the correct thing we want them to do. When they make mistakes, we are able to label that as a mistake. And this is something that's really important when you're in the early stages of training, because you want the dog to think of training as a fun game. And if you come down hard on them for just making a mistake, well, they're not going to want to train anymore with you. All right? So you want to be doing lots of training before you think about any type of punitive corrections, and otherwise the dog's just going to say, well, training isn't fun. All right, so that's something that's really important, is when you're starting to work with your dog, especially puppies, you want to make training a game and show them that correct responses receive rewards, and it's okay to make mistakes. We want the dog to be trying different things, but we want to let them know that certain behaviors are mistakes. So let's sit one more time. Indy, come here, bud. Sit. Good. That's what I wanted. Now let's say that I say stay. I put the food down. Stay. Good. All right, see how that works? So that's something that you can try right now with your dog. Let's do something very simple, such as a sit and start to lower the food down. If you have a small dog, you're going to probably notice them jump up for that treat. And as soon as they put that butt off the ground, I want you to go and pull that food away. All right. Once you start to get this training technique going, you can start to use it for lots of other commands, such as sit and stay, down, leash walking, come when called. It's really endless, but I want you to start on something very simple with your dog. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video.